Half-Life 3 confirmed dead? It's been an ongoing meme for quite some time. Over 10 years, in fact. And if you look at this chart here, you can actually see that this meme has had a lot of longevity. Especially considering the game came out early in 2004, the meme has actually spread past the game, I'd argue, at this point. Even people who aren't familiar with Half-Life know just how significant of an event Half-Life 3 would be, based purely on meme, based purely on joke, just based purely on internet culture. It's not something you hear a lot of people talking about from day to day, but you still hear the phrase Half-Life 3 confirmed tossed around as if it's this second coming, as if it's this holy event that will rock the world. The joke itself was powerful, it was potent, it was used multiple times for multiple April Fool's jokes. In fact, it being an April Fool's joke became a gag unto itself, this game that would never come out. It was like a cross between a Rickroll and a Second Coming. It was just this very powerful event that was like partially a jab at hype, but also kind of this admission of hope for people in gaming and obsessed with gaming culture. These people who are often some of the most cynical, annoying assholes you can find on the internet, they spoke of this event as if it might be the highlight of their lives. For so long, in fact, that when this news broke, it caused a very, very powerful reaction in some people. The news I'm referring to is Valve ex-writer Mark Laidlaw, I believe, posted on his blog what seemed to be an ending to Half-Life, something that would wrap up the story that had ended on a cliffhanger so long ago. This was closure that Valve fans had not seen in over a decade, something they've been waiting for with bated breath for so long that when the news broke that this blog was how Half-Life 3 would have ended, it was a very sentimental moment for some people. You saw all stages of grief suddenly playing across the internet. You had people saying this wasn't the end, this couldn't be it. You had people who were so angry at Valve that they had let it get to this point. People who were sure that Valve would come out at this point and release some news about Half-Life. It was just way more than you'd be expecting for a video game. For some people, it was almost as if this friend who had gone missing a decade ago had suddenly had their body discovered, and all these emotions just came pouring out of people. People who've been waiting for so long suddenly decided that this was the point where they would no longer be waiting, that they would be able to move on with this knowledge now. It's just a game, but at the same time, even people who aren't into this series or even into video games at all can recognize in these posts that I'm showing now some real emotional trauma that was like being resolved at this point. And I'm sure that for a lot of people, they weren't even aware they felt this way. A lot of people felt surprised that they were having such a strong reaction to this news. As I stated before, Half-Life 3 confirmed was this goofy joke that was partially a self-mockery, something like to shame people who were still waiting for this game that had never even been confirmed. But for the first time I think I've ever seen, this is an example of hope actually starting to hurt people. Proof that if you hope for too long, it can start to hurt. I don't know. It's interesting because I'm not really sure what to do with this knowledge. I'm not really sure how to react. Personally, I think I'm with the group who's decided to move on. If you feel like you are somebody who was actually impacted by this, I'd love to hear your story. I'm eager to hear what you have to say. Thanks, and goodbye Half-Life 3, I guess.